Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're here with me last week, you know that I was trying out abstract art for the first time, and today I am back at it again. Last time I believe I had 10 canvases and I wanted to work on 5 of them, the 5 that were like not sealed, and I only ended up getting to these 3, and as you can see, or maybe not see, there's some spots that are very like transparent or like just didn't get enough coverage, and I wasn't sure if like it was allowed or if it was okay to go back and fix it. And I wasn't really sure about it, but I did get a comment that said that, if I wanted to, I could. And honestly, it just kept bothering me, so I just decided to go through with it. It was mostly on like the edges and sides of the canvases. So that was the first step for today, was just fixing them. I did my best to try and not cover up any of like the already painted stuff, which was my biggest worry. The spots that I really liked where like the colors mixed and blended together, I did my best to avoid, and I just did my best to not like cover up or change the original painting and just fill in the spots that were like very transparent and noticeable. I believe, as I said, I had 10 canvases in total to begin with. I wanted to work on 5 because there was like 5 sealed and 5 unsealed. But I only got to these 3 for the first week, last week when I was working on it. And so for this week, I wanted to fix up the first 3 that I didn't, I guess, technically finish, and then work on the other 2. And I originally had one very solid idea of something that I wanted to make, but I actually ended up messing it up both times on both of these canvases, so that didn't end up coming to fruition like I was hoping for. Um, and this one, the first one I started working on, ended up turning into like an attempt at a landscape, which was actually something I wanted to do the first time around. In my first video, I was thinking about doing like an abstract art, landscape art type painting. Um, I'm pretty sure that's a thing people do with abstract art. They'll do like an abstract landscape. I wanted to try it, but I didn't the first time around, and originally, I was thinking that with my original idea, I would do that first, and then for the second one, I would do the landscape. Uh, but it ended up being the first one that was the landscape because I messed up my original idea. And I don't really want to share what that idea is because I am hoping to get to it at another point in time. Um, but as you can see here, my attempted abstract art landscape is supposed to be like a mountain view with like trees in the background. And I'm pretty sure I did this completely wrong. In my defense, I wasn't planning on doing a landscape, but also knowing me, I probably still would have messed this up even if I was planning on it. But I'm pretty sure, like, at least for this example, here I'm trying to paint the blue sky and I'm struggling, obviously, to not cover up what I already painted. I'm pretty sure you should do the background first. And so, like, in this case, the blue sky probably should have been the first thing I painted. That way I wouldn't be struggling with trying to get around all the little trees that I made. Um, but honestly, I probably would have made this mistake even if I like thought ahead of I'm making a landscape. And honestly, while painting this, I just couldn't get the feeling out of my head that I felt like I was decorating or like icing a cake. I don't know if that's like how it's like doing abstract art with these palette knives is supposed to feel, but that's how it felt like to me. For the second canvas, you can see I started with the same gray that I used to start on the first canvas, and I messed it up. And I honestly think the problem was that these canvases are a lot smaller for the idea that I have. I think I need a bit more space for the idea of what I was thinking of painting. Um, so I am going to keep it in the back of my mind until I get like a bigger canvas and try again. But for now, here I am. At this point, I honestly didn't have any other ideas of what I wanted to make, and so I wanted to take abstract maybe a bit too literally and just throw on a bunch of color. Um, as you all probably know, just love a bunch of colors, especially rainbow colors. And so I started with like the dark gray and the brown in the center, then like surrounded it with the colors. This was honestly a good way to get rid of a lot of that older paints. But once everything was dry, as you can see, I did put the date on the back, and I do end up putting like my initials or signature. And I did that for all 5 of them. I wanted to add in a little bit more details to the landscape one, and so I got out the white. But I was noticing a few like transparent spots, so I decided to add the white onto the colorful one as well, just to cover that up. I did the same for this landscape one. I used the clouds in quotes to cover it up. And also tried adding some like white details to the mountain so it would look kind of like ice or snow at the top of the mountain. I don't really know if this reads well or not, but once it was all dry, I went ahead and put on a gloss Mod Podge over all 5 of them. This was another thing that I wasn't sure of doing in the first video last week, but honestly, I just decided to go ahead and do it. Um, I honestly wasn't expecting it to turn out as glossy as it did. Uh, you can see here in a second that these turned out very glossy, and maybe it's because I went a little too thick with the Mod Podge. Sometimes I feel like it's not glossy enough, sometimes I feel like it's too glossy, but honestly, it looks really nice, especially in person when the light hits it. But for recording purposes, the glossy finish sometimes reflects too much, it makes it hard to see. But these are how all 5 of the canvases turned out. Speeding through the first 3 a little bit since last week's video was dedicated to them. Honestly, I'm really happy with how all 5 of them turned out. The colorful rainbow one, the last one, is honestly probably my least favorite out of all of them, but I am still pretty happy with how they all turned out, and I hope you all like them as well. I really like this process of abstract art. If you can call this abstract art, I'm still not even sure. But thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed it. Bye!